Happy Halloween. Welcome to WWH. My name is Andrew Dreamer. Today is Halloween. It's my favorite time of the year, but it's coming to a close. We've reviewed 7 of the Universal monster movies this month, and I've got to be honest, I think it's been the most fun that I've had on this channel thus far. So thank you for watching all of those videos and for all of the comments and the likes. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. But before we can bid adieu to Universal Monster Month, we have one more order of business. We have to rank the monsters that we've covered this month, the parameters. I'm not ranking the movies, only the monsters. How much I enjoy the movies will play a part in that ranking, but it's not the end-all be-all. And I'll say, I don't actively dislike any of these movies, or the monsters for that matter. I like some movies more than others, but none of them are bad. And also, remember, these are just my opinions, so if your list is different, that's okay. Just put your list down in the comments and tell me why you like each monster. Hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit that like button as well. And while you're at it, go ahead and head over to Patreon and consider becoming a member of the WWH Universe. We'd love to have you join us. And on that note, hit my music so I can get to the ring. Starting us off at number 7 is going to be The Mummy. If you watched that review, you know I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. I thought it was kind of boring, and the biggest bright spot in the movie was Boris Karloff as Imhotep. And he was great. But the issue is, he's not really a mummy throughout a majority of the film. He becomes Ardeth Bey and is kind of just a regular bad guy for the rest of the movie. Like I said, he was good in that role, but I was there to see a mummy. And I think that the second iteration of the story was much better. A lot of the other characters are very forgettable as well, kind of just getting lost in the mix. That's my biggest takeaway from this movie. People are forgettable and it's a slog to get through at some points. As I said, I still enjoy the monster in this movie because of Karloff's performance. He's amazing and he was born to play these kinds of roles. But it wasn't enough to take this monster out of the bottom spot. Moving on now. For number 6, I'm going with The Phantom. Claude Rains is definitely my favorite actor out of all of these, but his character in this movie is just okay to me. Had he received a sequel or two, he probably would have moved up on the list, but it is what it is. I definitely feel a lot of empathy toward the Phantom as well because of what he goes through, but I feel like something was missing. And the opera music doesn't do him any favors either. That's honestly what annoys me the most about the film. I do like all of the tension and emotion presented through the character of the Phantom, and I stand by my statement that this character is the most tragic. There were just some little things that held him back in my opinion. Coming in at number 5 is Frankenstein's Monster. This one might get me in some trouble. I absolutely love this character, but he's not my favorite. Arguably the most recognizable character from the classic monster, Frankenstein's monster was a childlike, innocent creature that was so misunderstood. He truly didn't know any better, and he only attacked when he was in fear. Even him throwing the little girl in the water, he didn't mean to hurt her. He thought that they were just playing a game and he was having fun.
No, you're hurting me!
No! You can even see how scared he gets when he realizes what he just did. It really is tragic. Again, Boris Karloff brought this character to life, no pun intended. He really was the perfect choice for the role. He played the character a few more times and really cemented himself in horror history with this single character. And every actor that stepped into the role later has tried to recreate the magic, but you can't. I have nothing against this character, but there are just some that I prefer over Frankenstein's monster. Number 4 is Gillman from Creature from the Black Lagoon. I put this character here on the list mostly because of how unique he is. This character is unlike any other on this list. It deals with a whole other subject, basically. The design of the character by Millicent Patrick is absolutely phenomenal, and the execution of that design was perfect as well. The creature did get a couple sequels, but I don't think either one of them really reached the same level of awesome that is this first film. I know it was really hard to film all the underwater stuff, so I have a lot of respect for everyone involved. Gillman is another misunderstood monster who just wants to be loved. And these people, they entered his home, his area, and they just started hunting him, essentially.
Hey! He got it! He got it! No, don't shoot! Don't shoot! You might hit Kay!
And he was defending his home. So I can understand where he's coming from there. This is probably the film I rewatched the most out of all of these, right behind The Invisible Man. It's so entertaining and fun, and a lot of that has to do with the character of the Gillman. Number 3 is Count Dracula, another iconic and recognizable character. Bela Lugosi is Dracula. I don't think anyone else can play the role nearly as well as he did. His voice, his mannerisms, his facial expressions, it was all perfect. The way he steals each and every scene he's in. I mean, if you told me he was actually a vampire from Transylvania, I would probably believe you. That's how good he is. I know he didn't like that he was typecast after this film, but he was also so proud of his work and the legacy it created. He was even buried in a cape just like the one he wore in Dracula. He would only play the character once more in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, but that was all it took for him to catapult the character into stardom. And I think that's why I have him so high on this list. I mean, the movie itself isn't all that great or memorable, but Lugosi's performance was so amazing that it doesn't matter.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
I freaking love this character, and it takes a lot to beat him, but we have a couple characters that do. Coming in at number 2, the Wolfman. During the course of these reviews, I've grown to love and appreciate not only this film, but the character of Larry Talbot as well. This really is one of the more tragic stories. He gets bitten by a werewolf simply trying to defend someone. He thinks that he's going insane throughout the course of the film, and even decides that the best course of action is to leave everyone so he can protect them. It really is a shame that the Wolfman didn't get a standalone sequel, and the special effect makeup for the Wolfman was so good. They genuinely made him look like a man who transformed into a wolf. And the scene where Larry first transforms is so powerful too. I really love this movie, and I haven't even mentioned Lon Chaney Jr. He's a force.
Pentagram, Wolfbane. Oh, I'm sick of the whole thing. I'm gonna get out of here.
Whoever is bitten by a werewolf and lives becomes a werewolf himself.
He's the only actor that played this character during the era, and he really made it stand out. You can feel the emotion in everything he says, and his stature just elevated the character to a whole nother level. And we've got one spot left on this list, and you probably know who it is, but first, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back for our main event. If you're looking to save 20% off of your order from Redcon1.com, look no further, I have a perfect deal for you. If you'll go to their website, throw some things into your shopping cart, and when you're checking out, type in code AndrewDreamer and you will receive 20% off of your entire order. It's a really good discount. They have really good products. I use them every day in my personal life and in my gym life. I promise you'll be able to find something that fits your style and fits your plans. So go check out their website and use code AndrewDreamer to save 20%. All right, we are back and it is time for the main event. Number 1 on this monstrous manifest is The Invisible Man, Dr. Jack Griffin. Yet another masterful performance from Claude Rains. This one entirely comes from the absolute tour de force that is his voice. You only see his face for maybe 30 seconds at the very end of the film, but you don't need any more than that. I mean, the fact that you can't see his face makes this movie even stronger, in my opinion. What I mean by that is, if we were to see his initial transformation into the Invisible Man, it would have taken away some of the mystery and allure of the character. Not that it would have been bad, but I definitely think that they made the right choice here. Something I think that gets overlooked sometimes is the humor in Claude Rains' performance as well. There are some genuinely funny moments during this film, even if Jack is being an absolute menace. For example, the scene where he skips down the road singing, or even the way that he leads that group on a chase around the room towards the beginning of the film.
Here we go gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May. Here we go gathering nuts in May on a cold and frosty morning. Whoops!
Also, it really is terrifying for me to think about someone being invisible and able to do literally anything that they want to do. And on top of that, for him to be growing more insane with each passing minute. This is by far my favorite monster and my favorite Universal Monster movie. With that, Universal Monster Month is officially over. Thank you to everyone who has watched these reviews and been patient with me during the entire process. Let me know what your favorite Universal Monster is in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Spread the word about WWH. Let's continue to build up this awesome community. Also, check out our Patreon page and become a member of the WWH Universe. I will see you very soon. But until then, my name is Andrew Dreamer, and this is Wrestling with Horror.